Different curriculum design methods are valuable because each one is built on different assumptions about learners, content, time, and evidence of success. When those assumptions match the setting and goals, the design works better. This presentation compares and discusses backward design, ADDIE, and the Dick and Carey methods of curriculum development. Understanding by design is not a philosophy of teaching or an approach to teaching, it is a planning framework. Good planning ensures the time of both teachers and students is maximized and headed toward clearly defined learning outcomes. This can prove especially useful to keep long-term goals, get the blend of content and performance right, and better engage learners. According to Ryan Bowen, the 3 stages of backward design are to identify desired results, determine acceptable evidence, and plan learning experiences and instruction. Bowen describes these as follows. In the first stage, the instructor must consider the learning goals of the lesson, unit, or course. The second stage of backward design has instructors consider the assessments and performance tasks students will complete in order to demonstrate evidence of understanding and learning. The final stage of backward design is when instructors begin to consider how they will teach. Backward design can prove especially useful when you must align teaching with external standards, competencies, or exams. When you plan to use rich, real-world assessments and want instruction to build directly toward them, backward design is useful because it encourages teachers to first think like assessors and plan evidence in advance, which invariably sharpens and focuses teaching. The ADDIE acronym stands for Analysis, Design, Development, Implementation, and Evaluation. The ADDIE model is a 5-phase framework whereby the designer begins with analysis to determine needs and context, then moves to design to plan objectives and assessments. The next phase is to develop the materials, implement the course, and finally evaluate results to refine the product. The ADDIE model is particularly useful when a documented, systematic path from needs to evaluation is needed, such as during healthcare or clinical training. Online or blended course redesigns that must integrate best practices and keep quality high across digital platforms also prove an excellent opportunity to use the ADDIE model. Situations with novice designers or organizations new to instructional design who benefit from a widely recognized framework may also benefit from using the ADDIE model. The Dick and Carey model is similar to the ADDIE model in that there are analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation phases. The Dick and Carey model is, however, more prescriptive and systemic, breaking those phases into specific steps. The 10 phases of the Dick and Carey model are as follows. 1. Identify instructional goals. 2. Conduct instructional analysis. 3. Analyze learners and context. 4. Write performance objectives. 5. Develop assessment instruments. 6. Develop instructional strategy. 7. Develop and select instructional materials. 8. Design and conduct formative evaluation. 9. Revise instruction. 10. Design and conduct summative evaluation. The Dick and Carey systems approach is more useful than ADDIE and backward design when the designer needs finer-grained steps. Compared to backward design's emphasis on big ideas and transfer, and ADDIE's broad 5 phases, the Dick and Carey system provides added specificity. Each model begins with a clearly defined target or learning gap, and then moves in a structured way to reach or fill it. All 3 require alignment among goals or objectives, assessments that show those goals were met, and instruction that prepares learners for said assessments. Evaluation and revision are also built into every framework so improvement continues rather than stopping after one use. Each model treats teaching as a step-by-step process rather than a pile of activities, which helps teachers steward limited time and resources wisely as instructed in Proverbs 16:3 and Colossians 3:23. All 3 models follow the same basic pattern. Set clear learning goals, decide how to check those goals, then plan lessons and materials to reach them. They keep the learner and the goals at the center. The models share the same goals, though the wording and level of detail differ. Understanding by design starts by deciding the big ideas and what real understanding and transfer should look like, then chooses the evidence, and only after that plans lessons. ADDIE gives a simple 5-part framework that can fit many projects, but leaves most of the small steps up to the designer. The Dick and Carey model uses similar phases to ADDIE, but breaks them into many precise steps, so it feels like a very detailed recipe for success. For tightly regulated, step-by-step skill or compliance training, Dick and Carey or a well-managed ADDIE cycle could possibly outperform backward design because every action is specified and validated. Wiggins states that the purpose of UBD is to ensure the designer is more goal-focused and effective. He goes on to further speak about being direction-driven, so that goals are met rather than losing focus because of distractions encountered during the normal flow of classroom life. I agree with the claimed strengths of understanding by design because I have encountered the things it seeks to avoid. Direction is vital where design and instruction are concerned because the learner's mind is interested in learning. The instructor's mind, while interested in learning, is more focused on instructing or imparting knowledge. These two truths in the same environment can very easily lead to side discussions that lead to diversion from reaching learning objectives. Therefore, a framework that fixes the target first, specifies the evidence of success, and only then maps daily work keeps both teachers and learners moving in the same direction. Understanding by design provides that compass. Using each design model where it fits best helps me steward time, honor learners, and meet the objectives I have committed to achieve.